Beginning to study and to live in a Carmelite milieu is larger than it appears. There is nothing in the world more important than finding yourself in the scheme of things. Who you are, what you are, where you've been, where you're going. Who am I? In the aftermath of Boston, I look at the young man that's left. And my prayer for him is that he would discover that his greatness doesn't lie in what he tried to do, but that it lies in the fact that he's a child of God. And I don't much care if he finds God in Islam or anywhere else, he's got to find him. In order that the dignity of his person can be renewed. His brother the same. What is more important than to find out who we are before God and what He wants from us and where He wants to take us? And this is what Carmel does. There are other spiritualities that do the same. The Franciscans. But you put them beside you, here, as friends. Not in front of you as a guide, because in front of you as a guide are our Father John and our Mother Teresa. And so for joy, you can read Francis. For joy, you can have joy like Francis, but you are a Carmelite. The Benedictines have great, wonderful gifts, especially in liturgy. They were the ones that really brought the treasures of the East to the West in the early centuries. But we are Carmelites. So we may read Benedictines, we may appreciate, we may worship with them, we may love them, and we may read many of their authors. But we always turn it to apply it to what do Teresa and John say. Your spirituality needs to grow in the garden of Carmel, because that's where the seed is being planted. I love my rosary. I love my rosary. I just do. I can't believe that if I'm dying and my office isn't read, the evening prayer, evening of my death, I would close my office book and put it aside and take up my rosary. I have to tell you, I'm vowed to pray in the office, but the rosary has my heart. Why do we pray that office? Because it's the prayer of the church. Number one is the prayer of the church. So that from east to west, every minute of every hour of every day, somewhere on the planet, that prayer is rising before the throne of God. That's why we do it. That's why it's communal prayer. If I were dying, my words might be, Father, I pray the evening prayer, my angel will do it, I'm going to pray to Mary. I mean, that's just being honest. I'm just telling you honestly. In that radical moment, that's what I would do, because if I hang on to that rosary, I hang on to her, and I hang on to God. In my own spirituality, the Virgin is the one right in front of me. That may or may not become the deepest part of your spirituality. It might. But you don't condemn yourself if it doesn't. But you honor her. So I really urge you, as you think about your entrance into Carmel, that many, many things that nourished your prayer in the past still can, on occasion. But you need to be nourished by the teachings and example, as the liturgy tells us, of Teresa and John. You will find refreshment elsewhere. When I read John of the Cross, Living Flame of Love, it was like the heavens opened. But I didn't understand it. I still don't. Some of it I do. But then I discovered the East. And they said the same thing, but with more words and easier to understand. So when I think about unitive theology, I always go East. You don't have to, but I do. And I can. And until recently, it was only East. And then all of a sudden, life in the Trinity, Father Krill. And the truth, like a beacon, like a huge light, lit up the West in my mind. There it all is. The dignity of the human person that John speaks about, where God treats him like an equal in that moment of union, treats him like an equal. Can you understand that? It's exactly what happens. So, for your dignity's sake, the dignity of the person God created you to be, walk in Carmel seriously. Take it seriously. That's where you're planting your seed. And you need to water it, and nurture it, and help it grow. So I wish that for every single one of you.